Hey friends, here we are back in my studio. This was a pour I did the other day. It didn't dry well. It seemed like it sort of moved all over that edge right there. So I'm going to paint over it. And I have some colors like I used yesterday. This red is Sachet Red by Modern Masters, and the blue is Ice Blue by Dazzling Metallics. And my white, which is my paint for my puddle, is going to be Artist Loft Soft Body White. Now the one I'm pointing to is going to go around the edges so it's thinner to use almost like a flow extender. Okay, we're going to get started. So now what you're going to see here in just a minute is I'm going to be scraping this canvas because I wasn't too happy with how my flip cup turned out. So I decided to do a flip cup. I wasn't sure why. I was actually doing these pours. I want to get nice clean lines and nice clean cells, and a flip cup doesn't always get me to that point. So here we are, just filling up my cup, sort of alternating the red and the blue back and forth until we fill it up. Voila. That's a 4-ounce cup. I probably have just shy of 4 ounces. You don't need a whole lot for your puddle paints. Now, if you want to cover the whole canvas on top of your base coat, the white that I'm mixing up there, then you could use more. So you just have to kind of play with it and see what works best for you. So now my paints are thicker than usual. When I was doing the dump and swirls, they were quite thin. This paint consistency is about the same consistency that you would use for a ring pour or something to that regard. So I'm just spreading it out, thinning it out a little bit so that my paints don't sink into it too much when I do my flip cup. Okie doke, here we go. That was a pretty clean flip cup. I rarely do that without splattering all over my canvas. So again, this is sort of my thinner white paint as a flow extender as I move my cup. So at first I was like, oh, it's pretty good. But then I started moving it around. I had this big blob. I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. So I took it slightly over that edge, brought it back towards me, and sort of had this amoeba looking thing. Now, didn't look too bad actually from an abstract sort of simple pour type of way, but however, the pearls were very slow to develop. And on the side closest to my knees there, they really didn't come in. So I was waiting, I was watching, and I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I just decided to pop a few bubbles. And let's just wait and see what happens next. And then, I started pouring over the edges, making sure that all my edges were clean. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, should I scrape this? Because I don't like to scrape, but I just wasn't digging the composition at this point. So you see me get up, some time lapse at this point, and I'm gonna grab my scraper and we're gonna scrape off just the middle section and left the paint on the edge. So here we go again. So like I said, I have leftover blue and leftover red. So I was going to do another pour, and I mixed up some more white paint to pour in the middle. Okie doke. Ta-da! So again, I'm always checking my consistencies and making sure it's really mixed well. You can see my hand there mixing. Okay, so here we go. Pour it in the middle. And I didn't spread this out that much like I usually do. I just went right ahead and just did a random sort of zigzag pattern. I like the way it stands out against the white. So at this point, I'm just moving it back and forth, filling in some of the spaces, getting it over the edge, back in this direction. You can see some of the pearls starting to come up. Now I decided not to move it too much more because I had that little triangular place there on the lower left corner, which I will fill in a minute. I didn't want to have my color bleed too much into the white. So yeah, here we go. I'm just gonna pop some bubbles before I mix up a little more white paint, and I will go and fill that in just a moment. Okay friends, this was the composition I went with. I think it's nice and clean. You'll see the final results in just a minute. Hey friends, here I am back in my studio. So, yeah, I like this a lot. Now, these are the same colors I used from yesterday. It was that sachet red from Modern Masters, and it was ice blue from Deco Arts, Dazzling Metallics. So what I like about this is the simplicity. Now, I've been sort of saying on and off over the past month or so, doing more of these pearl pours. I want to create a very clean line and beautiful, big, juicy cells. And I have a lot of negative space in this, and I was going for that. I think in the video, which I should have maybe slowed down, I scraped my first pour. I did a flip cup, and I wasn't really happy with it. So I had some extra paint and mixed it up. I scraped off, everything in between, and so what's on the end was the original paint color to help move it around, if that makes some sense for you. So let me show you these cells up close, these pearls. I think they're nice, big, and juicy. The color is there, didn't get completely swallowed. And I like it. This thing is nice and clean and simple. Okay, friends, boy, I probably won't get another painting done for the week or so. I got friends coming in town for the holiday, and then I'm going to be out of town. So anyway, keep your eyes open. You never know. I may have another painting for you. Okay, guys, have a great, great start to your weekend, and we'll see you soon.